Okay, today we got to figure out how to solve different types of equations. Yesterday we did the easier ones. Today we get to the more challenging ones. What if we have rational equations? These are rational equations because it has an equation symbol, an equal sign, and it also has fractions in it. And so these look complicated. There's multiple ways of solving these. I'm going to give it to you what I believe is the easiest way to solve them. And that is by identifying the common denominator. So if this is 1 over n minus 8 minus 1 over 1 is equal to 7 over n minus 8, what would be the common denominator that those all multiply to? N minus 8. So the common denominator is n minus 8. Now you can see that the first expression and the last expression already have an n minus 8. Agreed? So what do I have to do to get an n minus 8 in this denominator here?
Multiply by n minus 8.
Good. So you can see that what we have is 1 minus the quantity n minus 8 is equal to 7. Once you get the denominators the same, you can ignore it. You don't even have to look at the denominator anymore. Done. Gone. Forget about it. So I have that. And as I distribute the negative of 1 minus n, it would be plus 8 is equal to 7. 1 plus 8 is 9, so 9 minus n is equal to 7. Subtract the 9, I get negative n is negative 2. Divide by negative 1, n is positive 2. Any question how I came up with 2? Now, what about the denominator? It seems kind of misleading that we could just get rid of it altogether, doesn't it? Here's where the denominator really comes in play. I want you guys to look at the denominator. What number are you not allowed to divide by? What number can you not divide by? 0. And what number would give you 0 in the denominator? What number could add 8, right? So we can't come up with 8 for an answer. If we did, we would say that it's what we call an extraneous solution. Did we come up with 8? No, so we're all good. Look at the next one. I'm going to erase this. Played wiffle ball today for Phi Ed. I'm kind of sweaty. Kind of sweaty. Yeah, well. But it was fun. What's the common denominator? X times the quantity x plus 2. So this is my common denominator. So as you can see, we're going to need that here. And then on this side, I multiply the top and bottom by x plus 2. Is everybody good with that? Okay. So what you have right here is now the denominators are the same, so I can just focus on the numerators. You got x times x plus 2, which is equals 1 plus, and then over here you have x minus 1 times x plus 2. How do I do that? Distribute. Get an x squared. What else? Plus x minus 2. Second degree equation. How do I solve second degree equations? Factor if they factor, but first set them equal to 0. Get everything on one side. I'll subtract the x squared over. What happens when I subtract the x squared over? Isn't that beautiful? So I got 2x is equal to 1 minus 2 is negative 1, and I got an x, so x minus 1. I solve by subtracting the x over, and I get x is equal to negative 1. Now, what numbers can I not come up with? What numbers would give me 0 in the denominator? 0 and? Negative 2. Everybody see that? Okay, there you have it. Okay, letter C. This, I have two fractions, but when you have a fraction equal to a fraction, you don't have to go through all the work of finding the common denominators. You simply cross multiply. And so x minus 2 times x plus 1, I get x squared. Then what? Minus x minus 2 equals 6. Second degree polynomial, set it equal to 0. X squared minus x minus 8 is equal to 0. Does that factor? If it doesn't factor, we run to the quadratic formula. You have to remember this. You guys are old enough. You're pre-calc now. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Please commit that to memory. So what is negative b? 1 plus or minus square root of, what's negative 1 squared? 1 minus 4 times a is 1 and c is negative 8, divided by twice the a value. So this is called the discriminant. The discriminant is the part that tells us the types of solutions we have. How many negative signs do you have underneath the square root? 2. So they will cancel, make each other positive. So it's a 1 plus 32, which is 33. 1 plus or minus the root of 33 all over dos, which is Spanish for 2. Notice I have two solutions. I had a second degree equation. What is the number that I couldn't come up with for an answer? Negative 1 would have produced 0 in the denominator. Everybody good with that? All right, the next one, we switch to radicals. Square root of 2x plus 1 is equal to 3. How do you get rid of the square root sign?
Square.
You square both sides. You get 2x plus 1 is equal to 9. Subtract the 1. 2x is equal to 8. So x is 4. Pretty easy, right? Letter E, what about that? Okay, move the 3 over. I got the square root of x plus 1 is equal to x plus 4. Square it. So I get x plus 1 is equal to x squared plus 16. Why? I did voodoo math again. When you square the x plus 4, you have to take x plus 4 times x plus 4. We all know that, as Kenny said, you get x squared plus 8x plus 16. By the way, I don't do that to make you mad. Studies show that if we allow you to go down to the road of the mistake and then bring you back, you're more likely to remember it. So trying to use your brain science. Second degree equation, what do? Set equal to 0. Whoa, come back here. 0 equals x squared plus 7x plus 15. Does that factor? No. Quadratic formula. Negative b would be negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 4 times 1 times 15 all over 2. So what do you notice about the discriminant in this situation? So only one negative. The discriminant is right here. Does the discriminant end up being positive or negative? Negative, because you have 49 minus 60, which is negative 11. So negative 7 plus or minus the square root of negative 11 over 2. Because it's early in the year, I will accept this as an answer. You could also say imaginary solutions or non-real solutions. You could also say in this scenario negative 7 plus or minus I roots of 11 over 2. Now, in chapter 3, this is the only answer that I will accept, but we're not to chapter 3 yet. So as long as you recognize you have a negative or call it imaginary something, that'll be fine. If you don't handle the I correctly, I'm okay with that. Is that good? All right, last one for the day. 2 cubed roots of x plus 3 is equal to 8. What's different about this one? So should I cube both sides? What should I do first? Divide the 2 first. Isolate the cubed root. Get the cubed root of x plus 3 is equal to 4. Now you can cube both sides. And we get x plus 3 is equal to 64. Subtract the 3. X is equal to 61. What if I wanted to check my answer? Plug it back in. 61 plus 3 is 64. Cubed root is 4 times 2 is 8, and it's done. But I would say that if I put a problem like this on the test, I would say about a quarter of people would cube it right away. And actually, you can do that in this situation, so long as you cube the 2. The problem is people will say square both sides here. And squaring that is an absolute pain in the butt. The square root doesn't entirely go away because you end up having to FOIL that out. So just be careful about what you're doing. Okay? So first hour, this is where we ended up. We have had some other business to take care of. So what I said is that tomorrow we would finish up our very last bit, which would just be this last piece. So some people are on the study guide and they are solving what we call literal equations. We haven't talked about that yet. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. And we also have these other awkward ones like x to the 4/3 or x to the 4th, so on and so forth. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay? So you're ready to start kind of your last worksheet and work on the front side of it. So this is my good friend Izzy. Say hi, Izzy. Izzy would start working on this front part right here of 1.5. The back part would be what we would get to tomorrow. When is your test? Thursday when you return. So on Tuesday, we're going to move on to the next unit. We're just going to talk briefly about inequalities. And then Wednesday, you would have a work day on your study guide. Homework would be due on Wednesday. And then your test would be on Thursday. Is that okay? It is your birthday. Next Thursday?
Yeah.
We'll party. Party, you get to have we done a birthday in this class yet?
Yeah.
Whose birthday was it? It was yours. Did you get one of these? I did.
No.
Liar. Okay, so you have half an hour, which doesn't happen very often. So take use of it. Go start working. I need to use the bathroom. I'll be back in a second.